Now entering Nerdist.com.
Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. Jackie Cation, Laurie Kilmartin. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show. It's the Jackie and Laurie Show. The Jackie and Laurie Show.
Hello.
First of all, I hope we're offering this, and I hope nobody watches. That would be my dream. Is that
right?
We did our job.
You did so much more work. This Patreon thing's really gonna because here's the thing about Laurie Kilmartin: not enough tasks in her life. Let's bring one more task into it. Let's have a Patreon. You're bathed though.
Well, you've covered a lot of ground in that opening statement.
Hi, my name's Jackie Cation.
I'm Laurie Kilmartin, and I just swam. I did my workout already. I feel so good.
You've swam?
Yeah.
All right. I've had 2 cups of coffee. I feel pretty good. Did my Marvel Puzzle Quest chores. Things are happening.
Yeah.
So this week in comedy, let me just say my favorite tweet.
Oh my God.
Was
Yes.
Martha Kelly.
Yeah.
Who someone called her a whore, and she said, "That's not an insult, fucker." And I loved it. And then my favorite new thing that I saw that comics did this week was Garfunkel and Oates have a new song called 50-50.
Yeah.
And it's about being in a relationship and how they, it's, you should look it up because my favorite thing was a minute and a half in when they say, none of our moms wanted to just be moms.
Oh my God.
They wanted careers.
Yes.
And then they go back and forth with like, what about Leslie's mom? No, none of the moms.
Oh, that one wanted what she had, which was, watching television, reading romance novels, and occasionally telling me I'm fat.
Oh, right.
So her dream came true.
Her dream came true. Yeah, your mom. I was going to tell you that you got to, what I recommend, because my birthday was this week. Your birthday was this week.
Yeah.
And Andy Ashcraft cared that it was my birthday.
That's
it was very
nice.
beautiful. I recommend, you could tell he's not a comic because I recommend you go out with somebody or get married to somebody whose parents loved them. Because genuinely loved them because he cared so much. These are I got these shoes. They're Vans Marvel Avengers shoes.
Those are really cool, and those are birthday
super cute.
shoes.
Those are
now,
my birthday shoes.
Earlier, and still no one's watching, but they could.
On Patreon, yes.
Is I pulled your legs open so that we could give the viewers a crotch shot.
Right, because we know what sells.
Yeah.
Which is a shot of this one's crotch.
Well, it's 53. It's finally time to show it. That's what I say.
Somebody said, "Why did you just tell me how old you are?" I said, "I would hide it, but Laurie Kilmartin keeps telling everyone how old we are." So as much as I'd love to,
we have to go boldly into middle and late middle age.
And there's nothing to be done.
There's nothing to be done, and the reason it's shameful is people keep acting like it's shameful, and they're acting like they're done when they're 40.
Right.
And so I reject that because I'm not done.
You do reject that.
I actually just started comedy last week.
Right, and you're a genius because of it. How great would it be? You know that there's that tired joke where people are like, "He's never done comedy before," and then it's somebody who's been doing it forever.
Oh yeah.
And the idea is that it's fun to think that person is. That's where the joke. Let me explain that joke. Is that that's where the funny is.
Cation-splaining.
It's Cation-splaining. Oh my God! It's everywhere you want to be. I have to get more comfortable. Talk amongst yourselves.
It's just me. Yeah, this couch is, I got it at Ashley, and I think when you pull it
deep.
out, it's pretty comfy to sleep on, but it wouldn't be my first couch choice. I had to get it in a pinch because I had my cousins coming, and I wanted them to come back, so I wanted it to be, I didn't want a used couch.
I need buffer. Please come again. And
so I got back from ComicCon last night.
Oh my God, that's right. You did ComicCon.
We always stay at the Grant Hotel, which is like this, and each year it gets a little bit better. Like the first year we were there, I just mean the hotel. It was kind of old, and funky. And then they started upgrading it. And so every year we're like, oh my God, this is awesome.
Look, they put a Starbucks in.
Basically, yeah. Like free cold coffee when you come back in the afternoon. And,
Iced coffee.
yeah. And they have a bartender there, and there's no tip jar, so you're not allowed to tip. It's awesome.
Oh, that is awesome.
Because I'm always guilted into over tipping when I feel like people are.
ComicCon down in San Diego.
Yes.
And
not a ton of people dressing up. It was just a lot of people being drunk.
Yeah.
It's turning into probably what it wasn't when it first started.
oh no, it has supposedly like people I know who went in the 90s. And
Yeah.
then, and before that were like it's too many. It's all just industry people. So
yeah, and people that want to see movie stars. It's
Right.
not a lot of people dressing up.
and you can barely buy a comic book anymore.
Yeah.
Kyle, you didn't go, did you? No.
Yeah, because getting into Hall H is incredibly expensive. You have to pay like at least a couple hundred, or if you're going to buy a scalp ticket, $600 to $700 just to get into Hall H to possibly buy comic books, etc.
Wait, is Hall H the dealer room?
That's for the tickets for the whole. Oh, we're doing this now?
Doing that.
I feel like I should be voiceless. It's you buy the ticket for the whole convention. You have to wait in a separate line to get into Hall H, and there's like a whole separate system. It's not extra to get into Hall H. The whole convention is the thing that's super expensive to get
Right,
into.
and it's a lottery.
Okay. Either
and
way,
it's a lot, and it's a pain in the ass. And I don't like San Diego enough.
there's nothing in San Diego. It is a new city, even though it may be old and it has some old roots, but those were paved over by white people. And it's just boring. All it has is potential for alcoholism.
Oh, sure. And why travel for alcoholism? You could do it locally. But here's the crazy thing is so by the way, so my father's advice, of course, never say no without a number.
Right.
And the premise, of course, is whenever somebody asks you to do something you don't want to do, you say, I'd love to do it. I'm going to need $11,000. And then that person says, well, I don't have $11,000. And then you say, well, thank you so much for thinking of me. If your budget ever goes up, please continue to think of
If
me.
your budget ever goes up,
If your
give
budget
me a
ever-
call.
right,
Oh,
give
I
me a
love
call.
it.
And
You're
but-
prevented by budgetary reasons for by participating in this gig.
Exactly. But know that my prices are always rising. So that's the second beat where
Yes.
you could always get the hell out of it the next
My
time.
prices are always
Yes.
rising.
So this guy asked me if I would come and do a boat in San Diego.
Okay.
You're going to have to pay me a lot of
Sure,
money. And so I
sure.
literally said to him, I'm going to need $4,000.
Okay.
Air and hotel. And quite honestly,
Air? You're flying to San Diego?
I would rather.
It's a 2-hour drive.
Well, and then he said, it's a 90-minute show. I need an opener. And I said, well, then I'm going to need another $1,000 and another hotel room. And I'll drive, saving you. And I offered this. I said, saving you both airfare for both of us.
Oh my God!
Guess who has not heard back? I'm a hero. Because
I
guess
think
what happens?
airfare you really showed your hand. Had you said train fare, that would have made sense.
Oh, no. Are you kidding? Why wouldn't you want to fly?
Because you could take a train. It's beautiful.
Did you take a train?
No, I drove down, but I also had a private on the way back. I left. We taped our last. Yeah, we taped our last show at 4:00 on Saturday, and then I had an 8:00 birthday show in Costa Mesa. It was a woman's
Somebody's
50th birthday. Yeah.
And she was like, please come and do stand-up at my birthday party?
There was a couple comics there. Yeah.
Okay.
Jody Miller was there.
Okay.
Yeah. And Jamie Kennedy was there.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's some comics there. There's
That's
some
a
people
real
we know.
gig right
Yeah,
there.
it's a real gig. It was cash.
All right.
Yeah, so that was on the way home, and so I needed the car for that. And
But you've taken a train a different time?
no, but other people have taken
Why
the train.
am I taking the train and you're...
I want you to take the train and tell me how beautiful it was.
Fly? Why not fly?
Why would you fucking fly for an hour and a half drive? That doesn't make sense.
Because it's never an hour and a half drive.
It is too. If you do it at night, yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm not driving at 1 o'clock in the morning, so
I'm
it's an hour
saying
because it's
9
90
o'clock
miles.
at night.
No, it's always 3 hours.
All
It's
right.
always a 3-hour drive, so I might as well fly.
You could listen to a podcast.
Kyle,
You could listen to half
I
a
get
Joe
this gig.
Rogan
You want to
podcast.
open for me? Sure. There you go. I'll drive. And he can even drive. Then I don't even have to. I wouldn't even have to drive. Maybe we could take the train. I hear the train's nice. So
Hey, if you're paid $1,000, I'll take the gig.
Exactly. And then my other favorite thing that I realized after Martha Kelly did the horror thing, was that somebody told me an anecdote about Dolly Parton, that when she was little in that little dirt town that she grew up with, they were coming home from church one day and she saw a beautiful woman, and she said to her parents, "I want to grow up and be that woman." And the woman, and she was all like had a fancy dress on and makeup and big boobs and dyed hair, and they go, "That's the town whore." And Dolly said, "Yeah, I want to look like her when I grow up." And I was like, I fucking love Dolly Parton now.
She was always who she is.
She has always been that, and I just
really cool.
think it's fantastic. So I did 2 shows on Tuesday night. I did that singing thing, which is on the Patreon.
Oh, I
People are
haven't
like,
watched it.
No, please don't.
I won't.
It is audio. You can watch the
Why are we
the wave.
losing Patreons? What happened? We're in negative numbers. They're demanding their money back.
Why wouldn't they? It was I sang Rhinestone Cowboy, and I didn't sing it well.
Yeah.
But Matt Kirshen said my favorite thing of the night, which was, "What a great show this would be if we were all doing stand-up." Because literally hosted by Brian Cook and Andy Wood.
Oh my God.
And then it was me, Jimmy Pardo, Matt Kirshen, and Karen Kilgariff.
Oh my God.
What a great stand-up show that would have been.
It would have. Karen has a pretty voice.
Karen was the ringer because
Yes.
Karen Kilgariff sings with people,
Yeah.
sings on stage with a guitar. So she sang Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas."
Oh my God. That must
Of
have
course,
been awesome.
Pardo sang some sort of Chicago song.
Yeah.
And I got all the audio. I'm not allowed to do anything with it except for delete it. I can only post my thing, right?
Okay.
But my favorite line of Pardo's was after I was gone because I had to go do this benefit. Pardo said, "Here's the good news about my singing. Jackie Cation has already sang."
What do you mean?
That I sucked.
Oh, okay.
But clearly it's a Jimmy Pardoism. I didn't take it personal, is what I'm saying, you guys. No reason to storm the castle.
So I had.
Then I went and did a benefit for Dave Anthony.
What do you mean a benefit for him? Is
It
he
was,
okay?
No, he's fine. It was a benefit that he had booked. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
It was
okay.
some sort of union tenement. Tenement? It was a tenant union.
Okay.
And so they live in a tenement, and they need their tenants need a decent rate of rent.
I did when I was in San Diego. I did a couple shows at the Madhouse. I did Team Coco. You know, Conan's sort of going into stand-up more.
Yeah.
They did a pop-up comedy club down on 4th Avenue. So they just took a space.
That Team Coco set up?
Yeah, it was so fucking cool. They took a space that it used to be a Thai restaurant, and now it's just this open space, and they just renovated it, made it into
JP booking that
a
too?
gorgeous
God damn it.
comedy club. I'm like, this is the best looking room in San Diego. Ceilings were a little high, but I mean, if it's just for a week, so
Yeah.
it's not like you're gonna do major construction. But they had like packed shows for every. Here's the thing about ComicCon is hardly anyone does an actual real show there. It's a lot of panels, and and there's actors that aren't actually good in front of people talking, and they're kind of boring, even though they're famous, and so. Like Conan does a real show, and then when they're the stand-up shows were real shows with real performers. It seems like they're
exciting.
actually starved for real live performances.
Because you can stare at someone with a really beautiful haircut that does a lot of sit-ups. But unless someone has poured a script into
Are you
them,
talking about us right now on our
us
Patreon?
right now, someone should tell me, what do you think of this haircut?
Your haircut looks great.
Yeah.
I'm proud to be with you in Montreal after that haircut.
Well, I got a haircut and I got a weird facial.
Oh, you
and
did?
When I say a weird facial, I flew home after having 2 nights. I did Orlando with Bamford, and then Nashville.
Yeah, you guys had some crazy travel stuff.
Nashville, Tennessee, and both nights I had 3 hours of sleep because of the way the for some reason the way the flights were set up, and so I got home on Monday on your birthday.
Right.
And for your birthday, I took myself for a nice massage and a facial. Happy
That's what
birthday
I
to
would have
you.
wanted.
That's what you would have wanted, was for me to get a nice facial and massage. And I got a 3-hour facial. I fell asleep twice. during the
Wow.
facial.
What did they
But,
do?
I don't know. I was asleep for most of it, but she did like so many things that literally I put sunscreen on yesterday. And Andy goes, "Are you allergic to the sunscreen?" And I said, Oh no, there must have been some sort of
Oh,
peel
my
or something
God.
because my face was super blotchy.
She probably did a glycolic peel or something.
Yeah, she
and
must
you were
have
out
done
in the sun.
something.
Wow.
So, but I'm hoping that. So I got so my face looks good, my hairs look nice,
Dude, you're ready.
But for my birthday, I swear to God, I gained like 3 pounds on my birthday because Andy.
Don't weigh yourself anymore.
No, I never
think
do. I never
people
do
should
weigh. I don't
stop
even-
weighing themselves.
I don't
you
own
have
a
clothes.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope
I
we
had
can
a
go
hard time.
see Hannah Gadsby's show in Montreal. I think she's doing it one more time, like there. I wonder if we can get in.
She asked. I was gonna have lunch with her. Do you want to have lunch with her?
Oh my God, yes. In
All right.
Montreal?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, she could. Let's
'cause
just
I
ask her to do her show at lunch, and then we don't have to go to the actual thing.
Right. If you could just. Well, it's gonna be with Maria, who would be willing to do her hour at you.
Okay.
So,
That's great.
'cause
Well,
Maria
I don't
loves to
want to
do it.
encroach on a Maria, and if you guys have a lunch set up, I don't have to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think it's anything.
Okay. Well, just double check with all parties before I.
Right. I was like, do you? And here's the great thing. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if we bring Laurie Kilmartin? And then she says no. I don't approve of that conversation at any level.
You could
at
just
any-
say it was canceled. I'm not going to double check. That's what I would do to you in a second, by the way.
fan. It's someone. Okay, so Andy was gaming with this woman at a gaming event.
Yeah.
He meets her. She's getting a PhD in biology.
Yeah.
Her husband is a guy who runs a show here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
His name is Monty. He is a comic a guy who used to do comedy in Chicago, came up with like Kinane and Bronger and Cameron Esposito, and he doesn't do stand-up anymore.
Cameron's from Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they all and Kumail anyway.
Right.
So they he moved here 2 years ago with he and his wife.
Yeah.
And he does a show. They were at our house last night. Andy invited them over to play board games.
Yeah.
So Andy went and saw this guy's show. He now runs this crazy ass. This is the greatest idea. It's 4 or 5 people telling stories. So it's a
Right.
storytelling show, right?
Yeah.
They get hooked
Hold
up
on,
with
let
a
me cross it
screenwriter.
off my list. What?
They hook him up with a screenwriter.
Yeah.
Who then writes a one-act play script that a month later they do a table read of. They cast to do a table read
Wow.
based on that story that they heard
Wow.
from the storyteller. A month after that, the scriptwriter and the actors are hooked up with a filmmaker who turn it into a short film.
No, that's cool. That's
And they
a
show
lot
that.
of work.
Right. So it's a 3-month event, right? Storytelling,
God.
script, tiny movie.
Wow.
And they show the tiny movie at the end of 3 months.
And all these people work for free?
Right. Well, it's an exercise, right?
Oh my God, that's really cool.
And so it's a way to adapt a story to a script, and it's a way to adapt a script to the screen.
Do you know how many hours that screenwriter's putting in and the filmmaker on that?
I like that the storyteller's just fucking telling a story. What's happened? No, there's a lot of time put into everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody's
but comics
putting
are
all the-
doing that anyway. I don't know. It's that's amazing that
But
people do
scriptwriters
all
are
that.
writing scripts anyway, and filmmakers are always looking for content.
Yeah,
So-
but a
and-
comic
and
can reuse
nobody's-
their story and whatever. It's
so much work, though.
Yes,
it's so
it
much
is.
work on every
That's
level.
great that
and
enough
it's so
people are
gorgeous.
doing it.
It's such a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I thought, and this guy, and so we're sitting around, and I don't think, like, I didn't know he was a comic, and I don't think he knew who I was,
Mm-hmm.
and so we were sitting around, and so he starts talking about stand up, and I was like, oh, you did stand up in Chicago, and he said that he hasn't done it since he moved here. And I was like,
And he's a working comic in LA. That you could say that about a lot of comics.
well, he's not doing any stage time.
I know, I'm just saying,
No, I
like,
know.
yeah.
It's but I was like, why not? And he goes, well, I'm still writing jokes. And I said, well, those jokes aren't going to get any better on the page. What the fuck? And guess what? He didn't need to hear that
Yeah.
sort of berating. But what the heck? It was fun for me.
Stage shaming.
Stage shaming. But get up.
I saw Marina Franklin last
Yeah?
week. Oh man, she was funny. She was at the Team Coco thing.
Oh yeah.
Really, really funny. Yeah.
Where's
She's
she
just
out of?
great. She's out in New York.
Okay.
They brought in a couple of comics to be like correspondents. So it was Joel Kim Booster and Marina.
Joel Bolster?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh, did I say? Booster.
You said Joel
Kim. Yeah.
Oh, and Joel Bolster.
No, Joel Kim Booster.
Booster.
Joel Kim?
I don't know who that.
Oh my God! No, you guys know who it
Where
is.
did they go to a different college? What happened?
No, I'm
They're
looking
from
up.
Canada. I don't know. I don't
Hold
know
on.
those people.
This might be a part we delete, but you guys are getting it if you're
No,
watching.
it's we're not deleting anything. But just think, are we at like 15 minutes? Come on, let's break up into a discussion group about where we're at.
Yes, Joel Kim Booster. I was right. You know him.
I've never met him.
Yes,
or
you
if I
do.
have, are we close friends?
Yes, he's been on Conan.
Well, then we're about to see a picture.
Hold on, it's
If it ever
it's
loads.
coming in slow.
It's coming in slow.
You know him.
Oh, he looks familiar, but so
Yes,
does everyone.
he's been around in LA. You okay?
Okay.
And Nori Davis and Moses Storm, and so they all did like hosting and correspondence work all week. Like,
Are they all New York comics?
No, they're all no. Marina is, and the rest of them are LA guys, LA people.
Okay.
Anyway, so Marina was there. She was great. She's hilarious. And then I did Lestats, which is this coffee house that does a Tuesday night show in San
Nice.
Diego. It's great. Yeah, Dustin Nickerson puts it together.
Picked up some good sets.
Yeah, I picked up some sets, man. It wasn't too bad.
That's great. It's was trying to keep it tight because I went over my time going with Maria, and so now I'm trying to make sure that I stay between 20 and 25,
Right.
So that because I think actually it all just goes better,
Right.
She doesn't because she's working on that hour and she's got to get that hour.
Sure,
done,
sure.
So. And but I also, if I'm going to sell merch, I have to do that Spooky Reading Girl bit.
Yeah.
If I'm going to sell any Spooky Reading Girl stuff. I sold so much merch because she's doing a bit about how she doesn't sell merch. And,
But she refuses to, or she doesn't want to, or she can't.
well, it's weird. She's also printing a t-shirt right now. She's about to sell merch again, but she's in between merch.
Yeah, sure.
And she's in between merch. And,
So she's in between shirts, like people have bought shirts from the last one.
yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
really like.
How nice to have such devoted fans.
Well,
Like
she's had
your new
several
line of
versions.
clothing, they just flock to.
Well,
right?
I don't know. It was she does the design, and then it always says the same thing on it.
What?
Which is Maria Bamford supports me in my journey. And the first one had monsters on the bottom of it with luggage.
Yeah.
The second one had is just I think it was a pocket design with monsters that went diagonally. And now this one is all monsters, and it just says it in tiny circle in the back, Maria Bamford supports me in my journey, in the tiniest font on the back of the t-shirt. By the way, tomorrow I'm having, well, when this goes up, I'll be having a breakfast with Chris Mancini from Comedy Film Nerds, who carries our shirts.
Oh, okay.
And I'm getting the rest of the shirts.
Okay.
And I'm going to bring them to Montreal, and we're going to give them away in the live one. at the
Okay,
live
great,
show.
great.
Because I don't like the quality of those shirts, and people can have them and use them as rags.
What?
or
Wait,
a
let's sell it like
diorama.
that.
Yeah, let's.
So did you pay? There's so many things going on this week with men that it's unbelievable. Men are not having a good week. James Gunn.
oh, James Gunn.
I don't know whether to care or not about this shit. Did you pay attention to that at all?
I did. I saw it because he's the director of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
So I liked Guardians of the Galaxy. I had a problem with the first one. But I don't even think he wrote. He just directed it.
Who
right?
knows how much input is going on in a movie by the time it gets out?
But he got busted
yes.
for two kind of hacky jokes.
Oh,
from
a few
7
more.
to 10
A few
years ago.
more, yeah.
Well, he did the Nambla joke and he did the I got raped joke.
Yeah.
Right. One was from 10 years ago and one was from 7 years ago. Were there
Right.
more than that?
No, I think there were a few more. I mean, they were just. It's like John Levinstein tweeted, if you're gonna do that stuff, it's got to be funny,
Yeah.
And
And they never were but they were
Yeah.
they were hack jokes that we've all made. I think. I mean, or at
Yeah.
least, if not everyone.
Yeah, but I
we've
mean,
all in passing
No.
made some crack about being raped and rising to the occasion. It's a hack joke.
Yeah.
That I've heard a gajillion times.
So it's weird because those tweets were up for a long time, and he apologized for them in 2012 and never deleted them. And then he went on a search and typed in the search bar. I think
He
this is
did?
what happened. Yeah, he ended up typing in a tweet box instead of the search bar when he was looking for stuff, and that tipped off people.
The conservative
Yeah,
pundit
that he was
who-
searching for.
who,
Anyway, so he got fired, and it's part of me is like, oh, that's bullshit. I mean, it is bullshit. but I'm like, you know what? I don't care that much because it seemed like he, you know, again, I don't know him, but he may have been sort of a douchey dude bro that rose through the ranks and got woke late, and good for him. But of all the people I need to care about, that's low on my list.
Super low on my list. And yeah, I mean, there are a gajillion dudes who have never made that stupid joke, either of those stupid jokes, who are also very talented.
And I know so many female directors and female writers who
have also not made those
twice
shitty
as
jokes.
hard to just get some work, and the work keeps being given to the same type of guy and the same kind of guy, you know, and the same actual guys.
And he's not going to end up living check to check. He's going to be fine.
No, and I'm sure he'll get another movie, and there'll be some, because that's not even like a.
But I wasn't.
Wait. That's not even. I know. I paused for a second. You've got to jump in. But he didn't even do an action. The other thing I worry is, like, whenever a corporation backs off instantly, when you think, well, that isn't that bad, it's like, oh, that might have been the final straw, and they know something, or they can't stand working with somebody. I mean, if you look at even how the Hardwick stuff went down, it was like, well, he seems like an awful boyfriend, but that might have been everyone else's
the last
like,
straw.
Okay, finally something's in public, we can go, we don't want to work with this motherfucker anymore. And maybe that's the case with James Gunn. Maybe something else is going on where Disney's
can finally
like,
go.
thank God.
Yeah.
But or not. Maybe they're just fucking cowards afraid of the alt-right. I have no idea.
Well, I'm glad you took a stand.
I'm conflicted because I don't think people should be. I mean, we all have tweets, you know? And plus in 2007, no one thought anyone was paying attention to Twitter. Nobody was. It was just like 25 people were on Twitter. And one of them was brilliantly Rob Delaney.
Right. How did you get sold Twitter?
I don't remember. It was just a thing. And then every once in a while you could post jokes and stuff. That was it. And then
you were probably sold as a one-liner joke. Like, it's a great way to try out jokes. I was sold by two friends of mine who moved away, who said it's sort of like a way to group text each other.
Oh.
I was like, that's not what it is at all. That's not right. That's not.
It's Facebook without a lot of the bulk of Facebook.
Right, and Instagram is Twitter, but with pictures. I mean, but I like the fact that they were like, no, because then you could talk to Allison and Kelly at the same. You could talk to both of us at the same time. I was like, okay. And so I joined Twitter, and then I started following other people, and then it became more interesting.
Right.
I kind of love Twitter.
I do love Twitter, but I don't like how it's able to do this. And now there's this coordinated attacks by right-wingers. And first they went after James Gunn, and it worked, you know, and now they're going after Michael Ian Black.
Oh, are they?
Yes. Who is just a stand-up and a writer. He's not employed by anybody.
Right.
I don't know who they're trying. Are they just trying to harm his ability to get work?
I just worked with him.
Why don't you guys look at what Kathy Griffin's doing right now? She just sold out, you know,
Madison Square Garden.
or Carnegie Hall and stuff. Yeah. So it's that you're not going to get him, but you do take a guy who's you do take a guy who's a father and a husband and calling him a pedophile, and you're going to attach that word to him in a search, you know, on Google for the rest of his life, even though it's not true. It's really gross.
Santorum, though.
Yeah.
When you Google Santorum.
I know. Are you equating that with Michael Ian Black?
I'm equating. That's why they're doing it, because the thing is that they take all of the techniques of genuinely funny people who try to use humor to destroy bad guys, real bad guys, and then they take that technique and they apply it to someone who isn't a bad guy.
Right.
It's like
I don't understand why that's not defamation, and I don't understand why Twitter allows that. You know, you can see it happening. See
Twitter's owned by an old he's not
old. He's younger than us.
Right, but he's owned by an old school rich guy.
No,
I wasn't
libertarians.
I'm so sorry. Look what just happened there. Boom.
Libertarians. They're not old school. They're like, well,
but it's old school white guys. Old school white guys who support other old school white guys.
Right.
Like the fact that Zuckerberg donated to all these like Nunez and all these right-wing dudes.
Oh, he did? I know.
Thousands of dollars to
Nunez?
Yeah.
Zuckerberg or Musk? Are you thinking of Musk?
Facebook. No, Zuckerberg.
Wow.
David Nunez, the Central Valley dirtbag. and it wasn't millions, but they just spread the money around. They're
Right.
like, this guy has my interest in that we have the same interests. Here's a couple grand. Here, this guy has my interest. Here's a couple grand. And so the same thing for that Jack guy from Twitter. There's no way that guy's woke. There's no way that and I said woke. I'm 53. Hi.
Well, I hate how the Bay Area has this reputation of being so liberal, but actually, what's happening in the Silicon Valley isn't liberal at all. It's really hands off, and it's letting. It's allowing these kind of roaming hives of bullies to attack and not doing anything about it. And it's a company that it's almost a public utility at this point. You really do. I mean, I would love to be off Facebook, but I need it for gigs and stuff like that. But it needs to be regulated. You just can't have that shit on the air anymore. You can't put it on television, on public television.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the FCC wouldn't let it on. Even Trump's FCC wouldn't let it on.
Right.
Why is it allowed on a utility that we basically have to use now to participate in life?
Did you see? I mean, I agree. But did you see the Alice Wetterland
Yes, about
tweet?
TJ.
About Silicon Valley?
Yeah.
And it's so funny because, and it's not funny, haha, but she was talking about what a pain in the ass that show was and how sort of the toxic masculinity of it all,
Right.
which parallels the toxic masculinity of the tech industry. I was like, you guys, fiction copying real life
I
right
know.
there and nailing it.
Yeah.
Really nailing it. And she's like, it was a pain in the ass.
I also
And-
there was but there's after she posted, it was like just a tweet. It was a response to somebody.
Yeah.
And then there was like an article, Alice Wetterland, attacks. So it's like,
Right,
no,
attacks
she just
Kumail
tweeted
and the
a
rest.
reply.
All she did was tweet.
Oh, my
And
God.
Someone said, well, why didn't you quit? She said, the same reason Kumail and none of those guys quit, which is because we all wanted the work.
We need money.
We all had to do the work. So it wasn't,
And it's a good show. It's a good show to be on.
yeah, it's a good show to be on. She's not on it anymore, I don't think. Right?
No, she was just on that one season.
Yeah.
I forgot what happened to her character.
Oh, she's probably killed.
Because she was a whore and they deserve it.
And ladies, and then somebody was talking about how everybody got excited about my defense of Nanette last week.
Oh, who did? What do you
Some
mean,
lady
on
made it
Twitter?
On Twitter.
Okay.
It
I
was a
mean, on
nice-
Facebook?
comic. No, I defended it here. The
Yes.
conversation I had in the green room.
Right.
And there was somebody said, well, a lot of people don't think of crowd work as comedy. I was like, who doesn't think of crowd work as stand-up comedy?
Right.
And then I was trying to think of all the great comics who literally, like Todd Barry is on a crowd work tour where he's not repeating any jokes.
Yeah,
but he's
yeah,
recording
yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
And then he'll bring bits out of it. And he's on a tour where he just does crowd work.
Right.
And Judah Friedlander doing the same thing. Ian Bagg has had an entire career as crowd work.
Pardo?
Pardo,
Of course.
yeah, Pardo does crowd work that turns into like standardized crowd work, right? Where because he like his half-hour special on. I remember when he submitted to Comedy Central for a half-hour special.
Yeah.
Back in the early 2000s.
Right.
And he said, it's all crowd work. We can't count on it, that being the material. And he's like, it's crowd work that I've crafted over the last 3 years. It's going to be the same. They say the same things.
Yeah.
I work the bits into it from what the crowd says.
Right.
Which is what
And-
Ian Baggs act.
You could also shoot 40 because you're only using 22 on a half hour.
Yep.
Whatever.
And they always want to shoot 40. I did it the year 2003. You were all just born. But I did it the year that everybody tried to do exactly 22. Because
that was
of the
Bill
way they
Burr
cut
did
it.
that.
Because they
I think Bill Burr was the first one to do that, and they got really pissed.
It was the year that we did ours the same year. And they made him
Because-
come back and do another 7 minutes.
I thought he
made
didn't.
No, they made everybody come back and do another 5 to 7.
Oh my God!
Because they were like, we need
edited
room.
so badly. Maybe if they did
They
a
cut
decent
out the
job editing,
punchlines.
yeah, they cut out setups and punchlines.
Yeah.
Shit didn't make sense.
It didn't make sense.
Comics know what they're doing.
Right. So there you go.
So yeah, Mike. Anthony Jeselnik. Apparently, the swarm was coming for Jeselnik. So he tweeted. He goes, searching my timeline for offensive tweets is like looking for a needle in a needle store on Customer Appreciation Day. Oh my God! Someone's got to say no.
Favorite. That's your favorite tweet of the week.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
And then Tom Segura, someone wrote a whole column about Tom Segura in the LA Times because he wrote a Down syndrome.
And they said that they called him an insult comic. Would you consider Tom Segura
No.
I wouldn't. He's a storytelling guy.
No. So it's, first of all, the guy who, you could like someone's comedy or not like it.
Yeah.
Okay. That's going to happen. The guy who wrote the column has a child with Down syndrome. Well, guess what? I don't think he is probably the guy to be evaluating comedy where the comic has a joke
sort of
about Down
reference
syndrome. Yeah.
to Down syndrome at all.
You know, I have a joke about the second Malaysian airline or the Malaysian Airlines flight going down. I don't want families of the victims in the audience telling me I suck because of that joke.
Because you know what? They're right. That joke is not.
Suck.
You do suck for that joke for those people.
Yeah.
For that specific group of people. Do you know who doesn't like my Armenian genocide joke? Turks. They hate that fucking joke. And you're like, so sad, too bad. It wasn't written for
They
you.
can console themselves because they're right.
Boom. What just happened? Stop taking pictures of genocides. Yeah.
But so you know, whether it's a good joke or not, people are allowed to make bad jokes in their comedy specials or, you know, shoot for the moon and shoot for stars and hit the moon on the way back with your Down syndrome joke. But to write a whole column
over here. Yeah.
to write a whole column on that, luckily, I don't think that kind of thing would hurt his career.
Nothing can hurt Tom Segura. It's did you see Josh Weinstein did a documentary with him, Chad Daniels, and Pete Lee in Asia?
I haven't seen
Amazon.
the documentary.
It's on Amazon. It is outstanding.
Oh, I gotta watch it.
It's just it talks to the different people who run the open mic scene.
Yeah.
In Singapore and Hong Kong.
Oh.
And I think Macau. And the Macau guy is outstanding. I don't want to. And they show the way Josh cut it is. We get to see them doing sort of the same jokes in front of different crowds.
Interesting. Cool.
It's fascinating. And the way it ends is a Tom Segura fucking hat trick. And it's a genius move on Segura's
cool.
part. So if you get a chance, it's, I don't know what it's You've Got to Kill or something like that. It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
If you Google like Tom Segura, Chad Daniels, Pete Lee, Amazon streaming, you could check it out because it's really really funny.
You just gave them 80 search terms. I think you could do Tom Segura and Amazon and you'll find it.
I know, but I don't want you to look under Segura. I want you to look under Chad Daniels or Pete Lee.
They just had another baby too.
Those are Minneapolis comics. Segura and his wife had a kid.
Christina.
How does he do the road and have kids? How does he do it? How does he work it?
I don't know.
It's so amazing. He just gets to go on the road and he doesn't have to worry about childcare.
I know.
How weird.
It's you know, it's good to be a guy.
It's pretty sweet to be a dude. Hey, let's do Comic of the Week.
Okay.
Guy Branum tweeted this woman, and I was like, holy crap, she's great. She's a Portland comic from Alaska. Her name is Becky Braunstein.
Oh,
right?
cool.
Becky Braunstein, and her Twitter handle is at Becky from Alaska. She's from Alaska, Portland comic, Becky Braunstein, and she's wonderful. She's genuinely wonderful, and she mostly works out of Portland.
Awesome.
So that's our Comic of the Week,
Yay,
Becky
Becky.
Braunstein. And did you read? I pre-ordered Guy Branum's book. Did you pre-order Guy Branum's book?
No,
Not
I got to
yet?
pre-order it.
Yeah, it's the Goddess.
Well, it's not it's out now, right?
Is it out?
Yeah.
Then why hasn't it come? That's weird. I pre-ordered it. Hey, Amazon, you dropped the ball.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still no one watching, by the way. We may
yeah.
not have done it right.
Maybe they're watching and it's not showing up. That's what.
Are they secretly watching? Maybe they have it on private. Maybe they've got their browser on private.
Christella came back to Twitter. She was down for 3 months, and then they removed all of her followers, and she got unverified. That sounds like heaven, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. You could start over, just follow like 4 people.
Right. I had a great bot probably 5 years ago that would delete all of once my tweets got over 2,000 or 3,000.
Yeah.
It would just delete them, the oldest ones.
Oh.
It was a great bot. And then Twitter was like, nope. We found that bot. And I was like, I spent $1.99 on that bot. What happened? It was, and I remember when Eddie Pepitone printed all of his tweets.
Yeah.
And was carrying them around to different shows.
Oh my God.
He hired somebody or got a fan to go through his tweets and tell him what was funny and what wasn't.
That's great.
I would like to pay someone to go through and just delete all of my tweets.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea of just having 1,000 tweets.
Who's...
Because
I
I
guess
don't
so.
write jokes. I'm usually just outraged or plugging some film, some gig. I'm going to Milwaukee to do Lady
Here's
Parts
what
Justice.
I like. Wait. Yeah?
I'm going to Milwaukee to do Lady Parts Justice benefit.
Oh, cool.
In a week, and that'll be super fun with Jeannie Ashray and Liz Winstead.
That'll be great. I like the idea of a right-winger having to scroll through 40,000 tweets to find rape jokes.
But they
personally,
except for that they'll just do a search, Twitter search.
Right. But if I use the word swim as a code for rape, how are they going to find it? Good
you
luck,
bury
guys.
it under your millions of swimming tweets. I have finished the first chapter of my romance novel.
Oh my God.
Shitty first draft, you guys. That's the technical term. Yep. And it's now all I have to do is write the outline and the sexy times for shitty first draft.
Sure.
And then I'll send it to Audible and they'll say nope or yep.
So it's supposed to be spoken?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be I don't even think that they have anyone to print it. It's just literally just gonna be an audio thing.
Wow. People are making money off of that.
I guess. I will be.
Yay.
Don't get me wrong. don't think I wouldn't be interested in. And then I found an artist for my comic book for Starburns, and which is cool. And she sent it's the comic book is just the old man story. Is where I push the old man.
Yeah.
And the woman drew me standing in front of a waving American flag.
Oh my God.
With my hand on my heart like I'm doing the Pledge of Allegiance. It's a woman artist. It's great. And a woman ink
That's cool.
letterer, I think, which is neat.
I have a book reading tonight at Skylights.
Oh, do you?
This is my last one, I think, unless somebody brings me in
Right.
to read. And then I have a...
You can be done with the book? No.
I don't know what to do. I'm not sure. I'll just keep selling them at shows, I guess.
Are you going to bring them to Canada?
No.
Don't do it.
I mean, I can't sell them, right?
Right.
Okay, well, why would I bring them?
I'll bring stickers.
I'll bring
to get
stickers, too.
And I'm going to bring those shirts that are done.
I'm... so I have this 5 o'clock thing, and then I fly out tonight at 9:40 on my the JetBlue Burbank to JFK special, where I won't sleep,
Oh.
and I'll feel like shit when I get in on Sunday.
Because you're going to New York.
I mean, on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to New York, and I'm flying out of Montreal on Tuesday from LaGuardia,
Oh.
which is a bus ride from Harlem. LaGuardia they're retrofitting LaGuardia. It will be awesome for me in 20 years when it's all done. And I'm 75 and I need to get to the airport to do spots someplace. Oh, it's going to be great.
Okay, so I talked to my dad yesterday, and he said, so I've given away 20 pairs of trousers.
Trousers.
Yep. And as many shirts, because your brother Phil told me that he doesn't want to go through my apartment after I die.
Right.
And I said, Dad, in 10 years, you're going to be like, where's that shirt? Make Phil buy you a new shirt. And he goes, 10 years, you think? He's 81. And
You never know.
You don't know.
Salesmen tend to talk God into keeping them around an extra 10 extra years.
That's a good pitch, actually. That's, that'll make him do it. It's like, I could pitch God? All right, I'm in.
I found two really good pools at in San Diego.
Oh, nice.
One of them, I had a spot at La Jolla, so at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
So there's a pool called the Coggins Aquatic Center, like 2 minutes away from La Jolla, the Comedy Store. So I brought all my swim stuff and I worked out there and I got ready there and did my spot. And then there's this other one called I think it's called the Bud Kearns Swim Center. It was like built in the 50s when men were named Bud, and and it's totally falling apart, but I loved it because it had that old swim. Like you're like, how many hundreds of thousands of kids have worked out in this pool?
Right.
I love that feeling.
Right.
Those are pretty cheap.
They were cheap too?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
$4 and $10.
That is great. We, my birthday, we were going to go swimming in Pyramid Lake, which I've driven by for the last 20 years. Here in California.
Whereabouts?
It's on the 5.
Familiar. Oh, yeah.
You always see it. It's you always see it coming down the 5.
Is it before or after the Grapevine?
It
From
is,
here.
It's right. It's either in the Grapevine or
is it near that Flying J that I love so much?
It's this. I don't know what. I know that. Do you like Casa
You know that
de
Flying
Fruta?
J
You know
I
the
talk
Flying
about.
J truck stop that I love so much.
It's right before the Grapevine when you're leaving LA, and it's right after when you're coming from the Bay Area, and it's gigantic, and it's always been the Flying J I stopped
They have
at.
a triangle sandwich and a red delicious apple.
There's
that
nothing
you're
they
like,
don't
"Please."
have.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they don't have. And well, but get this: the Pyramid Lake has got too many bacterias and it's closed because it'll make you sick. It was said. And so then we went to Lake Castaic, which is an LA County lake, and we go there at Friday at 3:30, and it's just families. Mm-hmm. But it's not crowded because it's still work time. But it was so gorgeous. It was beautiful, and they have lifeguards, and it was really nice. Mm-hmm. And I thought, I wonder if Laurie would ever come here, but it doesn't. It's not a lap situation.
Well,
it's
you know
just
what
a
though?
playing
I
situation.
wanted to open swim one of these days. I have a lot of friends that kind of they segued over to open swimming. They were sick of pool swimming. Yeah, they do like a lot of Tahoe stuff and Lake Berryessa up in the Bay Area.
What does that mean?
You swim across the lake. You swim across Tahoe or Lake Berryessa and stuff.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Tahoe. God. So it's cold.
And there's part of me
in
that
the
wants to
summertime,
see
it's
you
freezing.
swim. You're probably. I'm gonna go out on a limb. You're probably really good at it. You probably have a good form.
my form's good.
When I was swimming at the at Lake Castaic, I was like, should I make sure that I flip my legs? I wonder what
Flip
I'm
your
supposed
legs? What are you
to
talking?
make your
What are you
legs
doing?
move, and so then you're like, I barely know how to swim.
Okay.
I know how to swim because you had to know how to swim to graduate from my high school.
Oh my God.
Well, I live on Lake Michigan, and they're like, "You're not going to drown on our watch."
My grandfather was a lifeguard at Lake Michigan.
Was he?
Do you know who Jerry Kapinski is, or Kupnichet or something?
I can't tell you how many people have said Jerry Kapinski. You know Jerry Kapinski. You're from Wisconsin.
He was a sports writer for the Chicago Sun-Times. I think it was kind of a famous sports writer, and I think they called him Cup because he had some crazy Polish name, and it started Cup, and then it all went consonants.
Right.
Consonants. So his brother was a football coach, and I have a picture. I wrote about this picture in my book of my grandpa in his old 1920s lifeguard uniform, looking fucking hot.
That isn't creepy at all. That's not.
And this guy,
Nobody I want to fuck more than my own ancestors, you guys.
Cup's brother, who's a famous football coach, and they were both lifeguards, and they were clowning around, and I was like, yeah. Anyway, so that ties into your Jackie. We have so many common ties.
So many common. Why did we never hang out? Because nobody books women together in the 90s.
Right.
Anyway, so I don't know. What was I going to say? So are you working? So you leave tomorrow or tonight?
Tonight.
And then on Tuesday you go to Montreal.
Right. And then
you'll already be there. What shows are you doing in Montreal?
I don't know.
You don't have your list?
I have it someplace. I've been with ComicCon. There's so much happening in my kid surgery. I start that week. Like I haven't been thinking ahead for Montreal, except for doing spots and just trying to fix jokes and stuff. But of like, what's my schedule this week? I will look tonight on the plane and get it all in my head.
And people should follow Twitter to find out where you're going to be up at Montreal.
Yeah, but I hope people come see our live podcast. We're up against this award show that Alonzo's hosting. I told him to get it done by 4:30 so people can come over to ours at 5 o'clock.
I think. Oh, who did Maria's giving an award to somebody?
That might be right?
At an award show, and
on Friday.
Yeah, I don't know who she's giving the award to, but I gave her the award 2 years ago.
Oh, neat!
And it was John Mulaney gave the award to somebody. His was the best set.
Oh, cool!
Whoever gave the award was supposed to do some sort, like a roast. Of some sort, and I was like, hey, it's just going to be me sincerely talking about how Maria Bamford's really good at stand-up
You're supposed
comedy.
to roast Maria before you give her an award?
Yeah, I was just like, why don't I make her cry? Why don't I push her down, too? That'd be great. Seems unlikely that any of that's fucking going to happen, so I didn't... but I forget who she's... It might be Hannah.
That's probably the award show that might be competing with our podcast.
Is it... Nobody went to it.
Really?
Yeah, there was nobody at that award show.
They'll go because Hannah Gadsby's going to be there.
Nobody's going to... Everyone will come to our thing. Because it's in the Hyatt.
Are we staying
awesome.
in the Hyatt?
Yeah.
Is that where the Delta Lounge is?
I don't know. What's the Delta Lounge?
That's the place where everyone goes and hangs out all night, every night at Montreal. And it's in the hotel you're staying in. Are we staying at that hotel that has that?
I know that we're staying at the Hyatt.
I got to check my itinerary.
And I know that we're in the Ovation Room, so don't forget to give us one. Don't forget to stand at the end of it all, you guys. You want a sticker? And
we're going to do time before the podcast.
Yep.
Just to give people a show.
Yeah, bring a USB stick in case I forget one. So you have
I don't have one.
You don't? Oh, that's brutal.
I'll buy one, but
right. Okay.
Okay.
I'll try to. I will try to remember one, but I just gave away one that I carry around normally.
Okay.
Somebody else needed
how many
one.
Does it have to be a gigabyte one or like a?
Have some gigabytes on it.
No, but like 1 gigabyte or megabytes.
It should cost you approximately maximum of $4. It'll be fine.
Okay. Well, now that
And
we
if
have
I think of it.
Patreon, I can totally
Right?
reimburse myself. Clearly we have a lot of comics giving us.
Well, that feels brutal.
But I feel guilty to even taking $1 a month from a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, but
my sister, $54. She's a financial advisor. So she's like, yeah,
That's such a
and she
peculiar
changed
number.
it. She said she changed it to 18.
Yeah, she did. That's
18
still
bucks.
up there.
That's plenty.
That's why I'm uncomfortable coming up with a tier situation. Because, for example, our first Patreon person was Edith from San Francisco, who's a single mother of triplets and lives in San Francisco, where apartments cost $10,000 a month, and she's giving $2 a month because that's all she can swing. I'm like, that's fine. I don't want to exclude somebody who's giving us their last $2 from our open crotch streams that we're giving up right now
that nobody's watching right here. And what I did post one thing that's
Right.
real. And I posted, that seminar thing that I talk about.
Yeah.
Traditionally, people have just said, hey, you talked about that seminar thing. Can you send me those documents? And I did.
Oh, that's nice.
And because they're electronic, it doesn't. But now they're all posted on the Patreon thing.
Maybe I could put up my my transitions list.
Yeah.
For people that
There you go.
couldn't find it. Although it's
Yeah.
findable other places.
Right.
Whatever.
Exactly. It's findable. There's things that we're going to put up, you guys, that you could just find anyway.
By the way, I'm not a fan
they'll
of
all be at the Patreon.
at one place. I'm not a fan of showing people names because the reason we write them down is I like to backstab without being caught. Okay. Sorry, I'm not going to tell you, stranger, who just because you paid me $12 last year. You
Yep.
know. We should. How about this?
1 week for you to turn on the Patreon.
Say that again.
It took you 1 week to turn on everyone.
If $1,000 a month for a year, and at the end of that year, we'll give you all the names.
And no context.
You have to guess which ones.
It's Laurie Kilmartin's new book, Backstabbing Without Witnesses. And so,
because nobody's, you know what? All of our friends are greatly flawed people because they're I mean, maybe because they're human, but definitely because they're comedians.
Like if somebody else had a podcast, they would be writing our names down.
Yes, I
And
know these two old hens.
right, but not as dicks, but as other terrible life choices. Probably.
But we are also terrible in ways we don't even see, and everyone is sort of everyone's got
Speak
blinds.
for yourself.
I'm talking about you.
I'm a delight. I am the.
But I mean, so yes, I have very good friends that also I'm like, oh, at times, and those are people I just want to say call out the behavior without, being this guy's a jerk, because they're not a jerk, but everyone's got.
Well,
everyone's
and the thing is if we call out the behavior and it reminds you of yourself, hey, guess what? Stop that. Yes. Big weirdo, fucking banana head.
How much time have we done?
Oh, there you go.
54
minutes.
We're cruising for an hour.
We
to an
are.
hour.
And then the next one will be the live one.
Yeah.
And then I don't know that. And then are you coming home after Montreal?
Then I come home for a day, and then I go to Columbus. I mean, to Cincinnati. Oh my
Are you
God.
doing hilarities?
Go Bananas.
Go Bananas?
In Cincinnati.
I'm so happy for you.
Oh.
And can't you tell I'm slightly jealous?
No, you're like,
yeah, but
Hillary got it for me.
Oh, good for her.
Okay.
Good for her. Yeah, yeah.
You'll meet her in Montreal.
Yeah. Oh, good.
I'm sure I know she's going to be there.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm bringing my kid.
To Montreal?
No,
to Hilarities.
Cincinnati.
Right, or to Go Bananas.
I was going to bring him to Europe this summer, and I'm like, well, guess what? I took work because I didn't know what your knee situation would be. And plus, I don't want to drag him to Europe on a bus, on a bad
crutches.
knee and
How
not
is
be able
he?
to walk around or anything. But,
Is it
you're
healing?
not. Pardon me?
Is it healing pretty good?
Yeah, it's healing. It's healing good.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I asked the surgeon if he could fly, and as long as he can stick his leg out, he'll be able to fly.
Bulkhead.
Maybe Delta will bump him up. I'm gonna make my eyes all big and be like, my poor son, and maybe they'll put him in extra comfort or whatever it's called.
Delta Comfort.
And then we'll be in Cincinnati. He can either hang out in the hotel. Maybe we'll go see some. I don't know what's
He could
going.
go swimming. In the
No, he
hotel.
can't swim.
Oh,
He
he's
can't
not allowed to
yet.
swim?
No,
'Cause
not
he's got
yet.
he's still got a
He's
brace
still,
on?
yeah, there's still the stitches and stuff like that. And he
Tweeted
can't swim
Laurie
yet.
fun things for a child of 11.
I want to take him to Noah's Ark, that crazy evangelical museum where they
Give
pretend.
them dime none. Dime none goes to fucking
What?
creeps. Give no money. No money to the Noah's Ark
Oh, I
people.
thought. No, but I mean, I will be, as we go through the museum, I'll be, correcting all the misinformation
If
we've
you
been
could
giving.
buy some stickers from Northern Sun Merchandising and then just put a sticker next to everything that's incorrect.
Well, I'll put Jackie and Laurie stickers all over the place.
No, they have our faces on them. And they'll find us. And the second sticker.
I don't
that
know. Our Patreons haven't even found us on fucking Patreon. You think anyone else is going to find us?
Yeah, this is. I'm not psyched about having to watch it ourselves.
No, we don't have to watch it. In
That's
fact,
good.
I think it's a stream, so it'll just go away, right?
I hope so. We can only hope. So let's see. I just ordered, and they're being delivered today. 100 Spooky Reading Girls shirts, which means I got to keep doing that bit. And which
Hope
is
you like that joke.
it's a great joke. I mean,
Can
it's
you
a great
add to it so at least there's something
maybe
new
I
there?
maybe I write Spooky Reading Girl into an addendum because I mean I have other jokes about reading, and it's
Right.
just Spooky is the punchline, which is why it works.
Yeah.
And I ordered 100 more Meat Shield T-shirts, and I've got $450 towards the next 1,000 to donate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, which
That's
is
great.
Good. Yeah.
I want to get a cork board because I want to.
You want a cork board?
I want to.
Is there a project?
Cork. Well, I will tell you. That's my next. That was my next goal
Sentence?
was to explain the first sentence.
Well, I'm gonna. Kyle thinks it's funny when I get
is when I did Dead People's, when I did 45 jokes, what I did was like how we do with the monologue at Conan is I put up cards, and I wrote a name for each joke and I had them all following each other. And then I could see the whole thing, on one big cork or a wall. I had a blank wall. This is back before my mother lived with me. So I had fucking space. Now I don't have a blank wall anywhere. Right. And I just want to put all my jokes that are eligible for a new album.
Okay.
Which is 90% of what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
On stage.
Awesome.
And then start to see, because, sometimes it's like, oh, I got to come up with 10 new minutes. Well, maybe I could just add 2 minutes to 5 bits.
Yeah. There's 10 minutes.
Instead of going, okay, so now I need something horrible to happen to me. So that it can have more material. And sometimes you do a joke and you get that chunk done and you're like, all right, it's done. It's like, is it maybe there's a little bit more? I'm just used to it being finished. Mm-hmm. And maybe there's a way to call it back or tie it to something else. Or,
right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I have 60 minutes for a new album.
That's amazing.
It is amazing, except for that I need to do what you just said, which was figure out if it's, because I don't think it's ready for a new album. I think it's 60 minutes towards a new album.
Yeah.
So I have 45 minutes if I organize it and work on it in a fashion that is necessary, and that'll be good. And I don't know when I'm going to do that.
When did it go from 45 to an hour? All of a sudden, we have to have an hour instead
of 45. You
don't
have to have an hour. Let me tell you something. Bands put out a new album with every new 30 minutes. So everybody who says you have to have an hour has their head up their asses. Because a 45-minute album is exactly as long as you're going to get from me. So fuck you.
It's hard to write a good hour. And it takes a long time. And I think some people are throwing some filler in.
Yeah.
Some dick joke filler. And believe me, I like it more than anybody. But maybe you don't want that on your album.
Dick joke filler. That itself is a dick joke. Because that's the purpose of a dick.
Because I'm a pro. That's why.
That's why. Because we just work it into... We're pretty damn close.
Aren't we
here.
at an hour yet?
We just hit it.
Bye.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.